Okay, I think that we will start. We are a little bit pressed for time, so I'm going to start. There is a recording. We will share the recording afterwards with everybody that RSVP'd for the call, but in the essence of time, and we really want to make as much as possible out of this session for the attendees. So we're going to kick off. I'm going to kick off by saying welcome to BrainFrame Thursday, the session where you learn new stuff about technology. You might have known some of the stuff, you might not know some of the stuff, but the point is that we want to take the opportunity at these sessions to showcase what is available to you. So today we are again bringing you the winning solution from the team Learning Curve and Salt, who brought you Adobe Sign last year. Today we are going to bring you Adobe Acrobat. And we're very, very fortunate to have probably one of the most experienced Acrobat trainers and users, many decades, but she is going to be introducing herself shortly. But we have Carla Rolfe on the call with us today, and she's going to be having a session for 45 minutes with you guys. I've been asked to make it clear that this is an interactive session. So if you have a question which you think is going to be a long, elaborate answer, keep that for the Q&A starting at 3 o'clock. But for any other quick question, please, you are welcome to put up your hand. Either Grace or myself will alert Carla. We know it's sometimes difficult to present and look at the hands coming up. So between myself and Grace, we'll alert Carla that there's a question from the floor. We welcome questions from the floor. Just again, for those just joining, there will be a recording. We'll be sharing the link afterwards, and we will also be sharing a feedback form. So if you like what you see here today, and you want to investigate further, look at a demo, do a one-on-one session, please use that feedback form to give us this feedback and also to help us to improve our session. So without further ado, I did in 2 minutes. I'm going to hand over to Carla now to take the stage and take us through the fantastic thing that is Adobe Acrobat Pro.
Thank you, Vanessa, and thank you to the SALT team for giving me the opportunity to present at your event today. I'm not going to have my video on during the session, but I'd rather show you what Adobe Acrobat is all about. So I'm just going to share my screen. If you can all just let me know if you can see it or not. I see there's some people wanting to come into the lobby just in the nick of time, I'd say.
Carla, don't worry about the pings. We're going to let them in. You just do your magic.
No, that's fine. No worries. Okay, so let me just move this out of the way. So I'm not here to bore you with PowerPoint. I'm not the death by PowerPoint kind of person, but I thought I would just take a few minutes just to quickly introduce myself. So I'm Carla Rolfe. I used to work at the local South African Adobe office for over 10 years, and I was involved in both the Document Cloud and the Creative Cloud for the whole of Sub-Saharan Africa, and I have been very lucky to go through to Namibia on quite a few occasions. 2 years ago, I left Adobe and I joined together with Learning Curve and other people. I've opened my own training company, and I focus, or my expertise is in the Document Cloud, Adobe Sign, Creative Cloud, and also e-learning applications. So if you have any questions relating to any of those, you can always reach out to Vanessa after the session, and we can always just try and help you with that. Right, so today's session is what is Adobe Acrobat, right? Where does it fit into this document cloud, right? What are the features that are used the most? How does it relate to products that you already have? Microsoft, I'm sure you all have Word, Excel, and PowerPoint on your machines, and we're all joining via Teams. So how does Acrobat relate into that? And then I'm going to go through a couple of scenarios and actually demonstrate the product for you. Right, as Vanessa said, this is an interactive session, so perhaps if when I'm showing something and you have a question, you can always just raise your hand and they'll try and stop me. Otherwise, we can leave it to the end and I will answer whatever questions you need at the end of the session. Right, so what is Acrobat? Right, Acrobat is a family of tools, and I'm sure you are familiar with the Acrobat Reader, the free reader that a lot of you have most probably used over the years. That is, let's say, the kindergarten version. There's very limited things that you can do within that product, but Acrobat has both the desktop version and a web version, which we call PDF services, and these allow you to not just view PDF documents, but create PDF documents, manipulate them if you need to make an edit or a change, print them out, and also manage your PDF documents. What is great about PDFs, remember, a PDF stands for a portable document format, and you usually convert things into a PDF when you need to send it to people that do not have your original software, or you don't want them to be able to make changes to your document. So PDF can be viewed on desktop and mobile and on the web format. Right, so somebody's just got their microphone on. A second there. Right, so Document Cloud is this family of products, and it consists of desktop applications. It consists of, yes, Adobe Sign is one of them that they already spoke to you about. There are PDF services, there's mobile applications, and of course with this there are some integrations into some applications. So Document Cloud is made up of 3 applications. We've got Adobe Acrobat, which is the desktop and the PDF services, so you can use it in your browser. There is Adobe Scan. This is a free application that you can then go and put on your mobile phone, and it allows you to scan multiple page documents, and then from there you can open it up in Acrobat or to be able to do with the document whatever you need to. And then, as I mentioned to you, there is Adobe Sign. Now, Acrobat has many features that are available, and I would need to spend 2 full days teaching you or telling you all about it, right? But just to categorize them, you can see that Acrobat has some create and edit functionality. For example, if you need to combine files from Word, Excel, PowerPoint, maybe another PDF, maybe you need to reorganize them in the order that you want to have them, maybe you need to edit. A lot of people have this need to be able to export them back. So you receive a PDF, but I need to get it back into Word. How do I do that without retyping the product? Retyping the document. And some of us, especially if you're working remotely, you sometimes have to use your phone or the scanner to be able to scan something in. How do we convert a scanned document into either a searchable PDF document that you can search for on your network, or convert OCR, optical character recognition, so that you can actually get it back? And that is going to be one of the things I'm going to demonstrate for you today. Right. There's also this.
Carla, I have a question.
Sure.
Quickly. So you said you can combine multiple documents. So you got Word and Excel and all of those you can combine into a PDF. And then
Yes.
when you un-PDF it, does it go back to the separate documents? Like it'll give you the
You can choose. So if, let's say, for example, I've got a couple of documents and I need to take them all back to Word. So even though it had originated in one format, you can export it back to a separate one. But you can select certain parts. So if I've got, let's say, page 2 of my PDF is a spreadsheet, I could select that portion of the spreadsheet and then be able to export just that back to Excel if I needed to. So it all depends on how you select things and how you choose to export it out. Good question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Acrobat can also be used for preparing forms. You know, we get all these paper-based forms, and a lot of our organizations out there are trying to go into a more digital environment. So Acrobat is the tool that will allow you to take those paper-based, they don't always have to be paper. They could already be in Word or Excel or a scanned document, and be able to convert them to a interactive PDF that people that can go and fill in the forms. Right. There are features like collaboration. we've got a document. I need to be able to send it for review. My document started in Microsoft Word. Well, did you know that directly from within Microsoft Word, in your ribbon, when you have Acrobat installed, it gives you the ability to send for review, and you can choose. There is an online review if you want to use the document cloud services to do that. But if you are in an organization that likes to keep your documents close to your chest and not have them out there in the cloud, you can always still use SharePoint or a network drive to be able to do that comment and review. And it doesn't matter, people in your organization or outside of your organization can review on the document. We have the ability to compare various documents to see where elements have been changed and deleted. Most importantly, sometimes we need to protect a document so that other people don't go and fiddle and make changes. So there is an ability to do protection, not only password protection, but the ability to be able to redact. I'm sure Namibia, like South Africa, has a Electronic Communications and Personal Information Act, and you need to be able to, if you do send off information, be able to redact personal information. So Acrobat does support that.
It's coming. It's coming.
It's coming. It's coming. All right. Another thing is often we make PDFs and we try and email it to somebody, and it's just not small enough to go through their email, and it gets blocked on the other side. So a major feature that a lot of people use is this ability to be able to compress and reduce the file size of a PDF document. And you can do this either after that PDF has been created or before. So while you are combining the documents into a PDF, or while you are making that PDF from Word or Excel or one of those. And then finally, you know, there are those tasks that you do on a regular basis. So for us, it's usually for quotes or notes or something. Everything that leaves our organization needs to be password protected. So I really don't want to have to go through those manual steps to be able to apply a password. So what you can go and do, like you have macros in your Microsoft applications, Acrobat has what we call an action wizard, where you can build actions to try and reduce the amount of time that you're doing from a task. So if I have all the documents in one particular folder, I can just get my action to point to that folder, and any documents that are in that folder, everything can have their password applied. So a couple of options that are in there. Like I said, I could speak for days on Acrobat. This is just quickly a screenshot of some of the PDF services. So whether you are on your laptop or whether you're on your phone, maybe you need to receive an email from somebody, and you need to be able to quickly convert it to a Word document to send it to somebody else. You do not always need to have the full version of Acrobat and your laptop around you. You can log into your PDF services. You can see there's the ability to export. There's the ability to edit, all using online services if you wish to use it. The online services are not mandatory, but they are an option there should the need occur. Right. I mentioned to you that there is a connection between Acrobat and Microsoft. So for all of you, those of you that are on Windows, you will have a tighter integration into the Acrobat product than those of us that are on Mac. Luckily, I've got both installed, so I do have the ability to use both. But you will notice on the, oh, sorry, I just want to quickly just get my little pointer going. I forgot to do that before the session. I do apologize. Let's get this going just so that you can see it. All right, so as you can see, when you install Acrobat, the full version, this is not the reader, into either Word or PowerPoint or Excel or even Outlook, you can use Acrobat to archive your emails. Why do we keep emails? Just in case in 3 years' time I have your email or an attachment that I need to get back to and look at. So Adobe Acrobat and Outlook give you this ability to do that. And then in every single one of those products, you can go and set up and say, you know what, I need it to be the smallest possible file size. I need to add security straight away. There are a couple of options that are available. So there is this integration between the two of them, right? Talking about Microsoft Teams, there is the Acrobat application that you can go and add to your Teams environment. You can see here it's the tiny little one over here. And then I have this ability to be able to view either my Acrobat documents, actually use the tools within my environment, right? I can even get a little chat box and I can send documents for collaboration through Teams. So there is quite a large array of things that you can do. If any of these little touch points that I covered interest you, please reach out to Vanessa and her team and they can set up some kind of meeting for you.
Carla,
Right.
we
Yes.
have a question in the chat box.
Sure.
Gottlieb would like to know, how is this different from Adobe Sign?
Very nice question there, Gottlieb. Adobe Sign is purely a signing solution. So I can take my documents and say, okay, I need to send it to yourself and Vanessa and maybe Grace that needs to sign the document. So Sign will deal with it from that point of view. But what happens if I need to comment and review on that document before the time? Yes, Sign can merge the documents together, but I can't edit the documents in Sign. If I see that there is a spelling mistake, oh, I spelled February incorrectly on the PDF document, in Acrobat, I can quickly go in there and change it. Or my company logo recently changed. How do I quickly change out a logo? How do I stamp something? How do I redact something? So it's add-on. It's a different product. It is part of the Document Cloud group or family of products, but it has a different choices and different features that it can do, and I'll show you now. So hopefully when I jump into the demonstration, that will answer some of your questions there. Right, but a very relevant question. Yeah.
Yes, another comment. He says, should we now consider the solution which includes the Adobe Sign? Gottlieb, for certain users, yes. So we can have a side discussion for your specific scenario, but my quick answer would be for certain users, yes, which needs the advanced functionality that Acrobat offers, but not for just people who need to sign or the senders of documents. Go ahead, Carla.
So just one thing I just want to clarify here, and I know we don't want to spend too much time on this, but Acrobat has various signing options in here, and the version of Adobe Sign that is in Acrobat, think of it as a mini-me version. There is extremely limited functionality aimed more at the individual. As soon as your organization needs more than what comes in Acrobat, then you do need to look at Adobe Sign as a separate product. So depending on your use cases and your working environment, you may have some departments that just have Sign, but other departments like your secretaries or your management or whatever, they might need a bit of both depending on what it is. Right, so let's just, so today I want to move into the demonstration and I want to show you 4 different scenarios, right? The first scenario, I am going to take a image, a scanned TIFF image or JPEG image. I'm going to import it into Acrobat or open it in Acrobat. I'm going to convert it to editable text and remove the background. I'm then going to make a little quick edit here or there, and then I'm going to export it out to Microsoft Word so that the person or I can then carry on with whatever I need to do with that. So that is the first use scenario. The second scenario that I want to have a look at is just to quickly show you how quick and easy it is to take various documents that you have. I'm going to choose a Word, an Excel, and a PowerPoint one, how to combine them into a single PDF and then be able to share it out for a comment and review. The next scenario is I'm going to take a simple form and I'm going to quickly convert it to an interactive form and then show you that if you have sent that form out for somebody to complete, how you can quickly go and get all those responses back and then export it out as a CSV file if needed. And then time permitting, I will show you how to compare two various documents, so where you can see you've added or deleted information in the document. If any of you are interested in anything over and above what I have time to demonstrate to you today, like I said, please reach out to Vanessa and her team so that we can do something that is specific to your organization. So there is the end of my death by PowerPoint. Let me go into my Windows environment. Make sure that you log into the full version of Acrobat, and the way for me to see that is that I have all the options that are available to me. Right, so I said to you, we're going to take a PDF document. So because the document that I'm going to be using is a JPEG, I can go ahead and just open it. Right? Or I can create a PDF. Maybe this would be an easier way. Create a single PDF. I could go to the desktop. I'm going to just choose all my files, and there is my JPEG that I have, and I'm going to open it up, and there is my PDF that has been created. Right? First of all, I need to be able to rotate this, so I can. Sorry, let me just, glitches always. Just give me a second. We can't have a demo without a little gremlin or two. There we go. Right, I'm just going to quickly rotate my document so that I can see it there. And one of the ways you can see I'm not able to select any of my text. I just get these little squares that keep on popping up. Right, so first of all, I need to see that I've got this blackened area from the scanning machine, and I'd like to get rid of that because I don't want that to be in my Microsoft Word document. In the end, in Word, I just physically want the text. So what we're going to do is we're going to use, so on the side of my screen here, I have just put some of the tools that we're going to be using for now. Sorry, this was from the last session that I did, and we're just going to pop them on the side here so you can always just customize and they're readily available for you. You can always just type up things and say, you know what do I want to do? I've got a scanned document, and it's going to give me the options that I want to have. Right, so what I want to do is I want to, it's a scanned document. I'm going to click on that. Or I can come here just to scan an OCR, and I want to enhance this document that I've created. And I can state here that it is a scanned document. It's one that was scanned in. And before I recognize the text, I actually want to go and get rid of this horrible scanned background in the background. So I'm going to click on the settings here. I'm going to say, all right, I want to remove the background. Let's do background removal. Let's put it on high. Maybe we will need to sharpen our text, or maybe you've scanned something in that's at an angle. It's not straight. You can de-skew it if you need to. right? So that is the first step that I'm going to do. I'm just going to click on this. You can see it's trying to optimize the document. And if you can see here, the background is looking a lot better than when I initially started. The text looks a little bit dodgy, but don't worry, that is fine because we're going to convert that to real text in the end. Right. The next step that I want to be able to do is recognize the text. So I'm just going to go to the recognize text within this file. And I'm going to choose the language. So those of you in Namibia that have German documents, of course, there is a German as a language that it will recognize, but we use English UK. Unfortunately, there's no Afrikaans, but English would be fine. Right, I can then go into the settings and I can determine, do I want to keep this as a searchable image? So let's say, for example, I don't want to change the integrity of the document. Let's say you've got these scanned in documents and all you want to be able to do is use them for search, to be able to search to pick up these documents. By choosing searchable image, what Acrobat does is puts an invisible layer of text on top of the image with the editable text inside there so that you can search the document. Right, so I'm not going to be doing a searchable image. I actually want to come in here and I want to make it editable text because I want to edit this document afterwards. I'm going to click on OK. Normally it takes quicker, but because I'm talking through the steps, it's taking me a little bit longer, but usually it's just a two-click process depending on your document. Right, so I'm finished with that now, and I can see when I come and select, can you see it's actually recognizing the text, which it didn't do before? Right. Now I want to take it to Word, but before I take it to Word, there might be a couple of things that I want to do. So I still have this little bit of a background in the background here. Hopefully you can see that. I might want to remove that first. I can click on Edit. So Edit will allow me to do a whole lot of different types of functionality within Acrobat, like cropping documents, adding headers and footers or watermarks. But in my scenario here, I actually want to go and get rid of that particular background. Maybe I want to get rid of some other little elements that I can then go and get rid of as well. If I want to change something, so let's look at not the unique health benefits, but maybe we want to go and find the main health benefits of honey. You can see I have taken a scanned document and have made it editable. I can even change the color and the font depending on whatever it is that I want to do. Right, I'm happy now with my document. It's in a format. I could remove the images or whatever it is that I want, but my main aim is to take it through to Microsoft Word. Now, by clicking on Export, so this gets back to your question earlier, Vanessa, about when you've combined a document, how do you export it out? You can choose what is the best format that you want to be able to have. So this kind of document, a Word document, is going to be best. You can see it has the newer versions, and for those of you that might still be on the old versions, you can even take it back to an older version if you're still using the .doc instead of the .docx. Then this little flower here, all right, or for the guys, you can see it as a cogwheel. For the ladies, we like to see it as a flower, not that ladies don't see it as cogwheels or men don't see it as flowers. But this is going to ask you how you want to convert it to Word. Do I want to have flowing text, or do I want to retain the layout? So that's going to give me various text boxes within the Microsoft Word environment. So you can decide on these, whether you want to include images or not. And if I hadn't recognized the text, I could try and recognize it now. So you can do it directly from within this environment. I'm now going to say export. I'm going to save it to the desktop. let's call this one scenario 1 .doc. And it is now going to export it out. While it's doing that, I just want you to know if you put a bad scan through Acrobat, then it's going to give you bad results on the end. So as long as you have a good, decent scanning result, you should get a better result in Microsoft Word. You can see I'm now in Word. Yes, some of the stuff does need some assistance, does need to be able to change, but I can then go and change the fonts depending on whatever I want to do. It is 100% editable document. Let me just make this just a little bit bigger. And yes, it might not have found a space here or there, so you may still have to go and do some kind of spell check or whatever you need to do, but the document is editable. From a picture or a scan to a fully editable document in Microsoft Word, you then have, I see Vanessa's really happy. All right, so that is our first scenario. Right, let me get out of there. Right, so let's go back to Acrobat. Let's show you a different way of combining files. So you can use the create PDF and say, I want to take multiple files and combine them into one particular file. I can do that, or I could still keep them as individual documents. It's up to you. You can determine, do I want smallest possible file size? I can do that now if I need to. I can create bookmarks, right? I can go and add the files that I want to use. So let's go into the scenario. You can see I've got a Word, a PowerPoint, and an Excel document, right? I can actually go into that document now. So if I just give it a second. Right, so here I've got the files that are available to me. I can expand them out. So let's just a bit of a delay because I'm running both Windows and Mac. So on here, this is that PowerPoint presentation that needs to come in, and maybe I don't want to have everything. So I can then go and remove some of the pages that I don't want. So you have these options. I could also have it in what we call a list view. And you could also come in here and say, I want from page 3 to page 7, or I only want certain worksheets, or I only want the first from page 1. Sorry, let's go in here. Sorry, it's just being a little bit slow for now. Okay, there we go. So I can come in here and say, all right, I only want from page 1 to page 3 in a particular document. You can give it the bookmarks that you want, and you can go ahead and combine your document. I will now have one PDF document. How many times do we send an email with all the different documents in the subject line, and then Outlook says, you can only send so many files. Then you have to decide, okay, which ones are you going to remove? And sometimes people don't actually go and look at all the attachments. So this is a way to be able to show you, there are all my different files. And a quick little tip that I normally do is you can always also just drag and drop files in here depending on how you want to work or use it. You can also take files and drop them outside onto your desktop. So if I want to only take these 2 pages and I want them to be a separate document that I want to be able to use, I can then drag and drop them out. So different ways to be able to do this. Right, then I need to be able to send it for review. There are a number of options that are available, but I'm just going to come here to share. If I share the document, then I'm sharing the entire file with you, and I can then put in the email addresses here. So let's use this one. Right? You can give a little message, you can have a deadline, and I can allow them to comment or not on the document. And of course, I can send it out for comment and review. Right. What is nice about this, the person that is reviewing this document does not need to have Acrobat. All they need to do is they will receive an email with a link that will take them to the browser. And in the browser, they will have these commenting tools that are available to them. And you that has sent it out will be able to see their comments directly in Acrobat itself. All right, so I haven't received the email yet, but hopefully it will come through soon. But whatever comments have been made can be done from that. I can also copy a link. Let's see if that's going to help me quickly. Sorry, I'm just trying to rush because I've got a couple of things to show you. So they would click on the link in the email that will take them to any browser, whether it be on their phone or whether it be on their laptop. Let's just get it to load. And then I can do things like select something here, mark it out. And then, oh, sorry, let's just put my name here. Let's call me Bob today. All right, so I'm Bob. It just wants to verify me. Of course, I can't see if there are cars on here. Right, so now I can go and make comments and I can add whatever, please change, and I can post this. Right, so what's going to happen is this is in the browser, but me that's working within Acrobat, as soon as I switch, so here at the top I can switch roles. And now I can see the changes directly within Acrobat and what it relates to. And I can do whatever I need to, let's say no. Right, so I can make my comments, them in their review, they can just refresh and they will see whatever changes have been made. Right, like I said, there is an option to be able to use the cloud services. You don't have to. You can at any time link Acrobat to your SharePoint drive and be able to do it directly from SharePoint or OneDrive or Google Drive. If you're using that, you can do the same thing. All right, so there are a couple of options. Right, let me just close that. Let's jump back to the other side while we're waiting. All right, the next thing I want to show you is to be able to take a form and quickly convert that to a interactive PDF. So usually people think, oh, you know, this is going to take forever. It's a long form. It doesn't matter. So for Gottlieb, you can create both Adobe Sign forms and normal forms here. So, and if you've already got Acrobat forms and you need to get them to Sign, it's really quick and easy. There is just one button you need to click to switch between the two options. Right, so there is this option here that says prepare a form. I've got it on the side of my screen here somewhere. There it is. Sorry, I just want to make this a little bit wider. Here we go, prepare a form. And when I click on that, it's going to ask me, do I want to have form field detection on or off? Right, so I'm going to quickly change that. I'm going to put it on automatically. Here it is, automatically detect form fields, right? And when I say OK, and I say start, there you go. it's already found some of the form fields that I need. And you're going to think, no, she's cheating. What helps is if when you're creating your form in Word or Excel is to put the lines or boxes where you want them to have interactive fields. That definitely does help Acrobat to be able to determine where these fields should go, right? We've got things like input fields. We've got check boxes, radio buttons, drop-down menu boxes, submit buttons, date fields, electronic signature fields. So there are so many types of form fields that are available. And then again, depending on the form field, you can always go and format those. So this is for arrival time. I need to set that to a specific format. I can do that. If this needs to be a number field, I can go and change that to a number field or a date field or whatever it is that I need it to be. I can say no decimal places. Something else that you can do, I just wanted to show you here. You'll see when I type here, can you see my form field is huge and all the information that I type in there, and the more I type, the smaller and smaller and smaller it gets. Right, so that is because the form fields are set to auto. I'm just going to clear this form. Right, so I can go and select multiple form fields at one go. I can come into the properties and I can change the appearance. So if I know, okay, it must always be a 10 font and I need to have, let's just say, some of these fields in a particular format. Let me just remove these. Sorry, give me a second there. Keep on selecting the ones I don't want. Right, I can then go and say, this needs to be in Arial or bold or whatever your corporate font is, and you can then go and change that. So now if I test, you can see they are now in the correct format. Right, lastly, you've got check boxes. Let me just see if these have automatically placed them, but you can see you can have check boxes. Maybe you don't want them to look exactly like that. You can come in here and say, you know what, they should have little checks because they are check boxes. And now I've got check boxes. Right, so checkbox where you can select both of the options. Here I've got a radio button, so you can see that it is automatically picked up one or the other. Right. Just quickly, if you've got a form and you need to distribute it out to multiple people, you can use this distribute functionality. What this will do will create a distribution PDF that you can send out, and it keeps a file for responses. Right, so that means as people send you the document back, you can automatically fill in the responses as need be. The last thing I just want to quickly show you relating to this is you don't have to. You can at any time. So I'm just going to close this a minute. Let's just save it. Let's say, for example, I have sent this form out to the various people. Let's just pop that on the desktop. And now we've got all these people that have responded. I can at any time come in here to my forms. Let's go here. It's not giving me my option that I'm looking for. Okay, let me just open it again. Sorry about that. Right. So what I can go and do is I can come in here to my forms and I can come to the fly off menu and I can say merge data into spreadsheets. Right. So when you click on that, let me just click on this a moment. I can say go and add. Now you've had these people that have been responding to your whatever your form is. So I've got a couple of people here. So you can choose all the responses. You can then go and say select, and you can now go and say export. You can see it is going to save it out as a comma separated value, right? I'm just going to put this on the desktop as well so that you can see. And I'm going to say save. And I can then go and view that file now. Let's just see, it should be opening Excel. And I can now see in my Excel file all the responses to all of their information that has been pre-populated in all the files. Right. So that is forms, really quick, really easy to use it. And then 1 minute, that's literally all I need to show you the last thing. And then that is just to compare two different files. Right. So if I come to tools and I choose compare, you can choose the old version of the file. So let's just quickly find that. And I'm going to use my profile, and then I'm going to choose the newer version of that particular file. And so this is the longest part, just choosing the files. You can then choose what you want to compare. Do you want to compare text, or if it's a presentation, graphics, or if it's plans or something along those lines, headers and footers, formatting of text. There are a whole lot of options that are available. And I'm going to say, okay, and I'm going to compare my file, and it's going to say to me, you know what? There are 13 changes to this particular document. 6 of them are replacements, 3 are insertions, 3 of them are styling, 1 deletion. And as I go through the document now, it is actually going to show me where those changes have been made in the document. So for example, this is in red, that's been removed, and that is where it's been removed from. Right, this has been inserted, it is in blue, and you can then go through your document and it will actually line up the various areas or paragraphs for comparison. So I'm going to stop there. I'm going to hand it back to Vanessa and open it to any questions that you may have.
Thank you so much, Carla. That was so super awesome. I see so much potential here. I mean, I'm a very, very big Microsoft fan, but one of the limitations of Microsoft Forms, for example, is that you can't upload documents if it's from an external or external users. So I'm thinking, yeah, if you've got online job applications, you want the people to be able to upload their IDs or what have you. And I mean, Acrobat Forms is the answer, or that it seems like it's the answer to that problem for me. So really a fantastic synergy between the two companies, Microsoft and Acrobat. And, you know, Acrobat really giving you a lot more functionality over and above what we have just with a just Sign or a just Microsoft solution. So I was really excited about what I've been seeing. Do you need to drop off, Carla, or can we bug you for Q&A for a
No,
couple of minutes?
you can bug me for Q&A. I can stay.
Okay. Awesome. So we had a question from the chat box to start us off. This was from Gottlieb again. Thank you, Gottlieb, for asking so many questions. Gottlieb said, you asked, can the form be filled out by multiple people completing different parts? Am I getting that right, Gottlieb?
I understand what he's asking.
Okay.
Maybe to clarify, thanks, Vanessa, for a nice presentation. So typically we have a lot of forms that are wet document based, that I fill in my name and my position, and then I say I want to travel. Then my the finance people complete a part. I must take this budget available. They complete the part, then it comes to for my signature, then to my boss, and back to finance. So maybe this form is 5 sections. So when I launch it there, and then I put my part, then it goes to the next person until it's finally signed. That was basically the context. And then we have a lot of such forms, training application, and the rest. There's so many of them.
Okay.
Thank you.
So thank you for the question and for the explanation. So when I have an Acrobat form, so Acrobat's been able to do this for many many years. So you could have one form and you could just complete your sections and then email the PDF on to somebody else and they could complete just their section. So there's no automatic routing to the various people. But if you switch it to what we call an Adobe Sign form, then you can allocate to the various participants, and then using to get Acrobat together with Adobe Sign, you can then have only people completing just the sections that they need to without anybody else being able to enter information into their field. So Acrobat by itself doesn't say, okay, you can only fill in section A and D. It's an open form where you as the filler in needs to know what you need to fill out. So it doesn't lock different sections, if that makes sense. But it can do calculations. So we have one of the banks here in South Africa that use it for, they've got Acrobat forms, and then when people fill in, you mentioned expenses, they can fill in the sections and then it will calculate totals for you, and you can expand out on that. But I hope that answered your question. Perfect. Okay. Any other questions there, Vanessa, that you saw that popped up in the chat box? I'm not sure if you're on mute.
Yes, thank you. I was on mute, thank you. So yes, any other questions? We've got a couple of minutes late. Carla is a highly in demand Acrobat specialist, so why we have her on the call here. If you have any questions at all, you can also leave them for the feedback form or individual email communication, but we have the opportunity here now with Carla, so please, any questions, just let's hear them.
So I'll do, while
Sorry,
you wait.
I dropped something there. Is it in terms of licensing or should we take it offline?
Yeah, I think the licensing discussion, because it can become a lengthy one, we maybe take offline for this one, Gottlieb. We'll connect with you. We have a question from Rosoides. Can the other participants see the other fill in the other information into the form? So I'm assuming this is about the author or the person.
Okay, so that is a good question. So it depends on how you host the form. If you're going to have just like, let's say, for example, it's a leave form. You could have the leave form and then you could have people download a copy of that form onto their machine or their device, complete it, and then submit it, then no, nobody else would be able to see that particular, what the person filled in there. What you could also do is, in the scenario where, let's say, for example, it is a leave form and I'm the person going on leave, I need to fill out the first section, I can fill that out, I can save the form. Even people with Reader can save the form if it's for people outside of your organization. And then let's say, for example, it's my leave form and then I need to send it on to my manager because there's a little section that he needs to fill out there. Then he will be able to see my information. So it depends on your use case and how you send the form and how you submit the form. But if you don't want people to be able to edit and change areas of a form that you have been completing, then I would suggest using the form functionality within the Adobe Sign to be able to do that. So I hope that answered your question there. Okay. So while we're just waiting for Vanessa to interrupt me with some more questions, just to give you some examples, people use Acrobat to put board packs together. Right? So, and then they'll do a cover page and they'll create the hyperlinks to the various sections. If you make a PDF portfolio and you put an Excel sheet in, it can say as an Excel sheet. You can attach other documents inside of a PDF if you need to use it like an envelope to be able to do that. We've got people that make interactive PDFs where they have hyperlinks going all over the show. They even have videos that they can put in there, so Acrobat can be used for that. Yeah, there's quite Acrobat can do quite a number of things.
Okay, excellent. I think I'm going to give it one more minute. Any more questions from the floor before we just wrap up? Okay.
If you're too shy, just put it in
30
your
seconds.
submission form that you're going to be sending back, or reach out to Vanessa and them.
It's good because it seems the internet is also on its way to the long weekend. Okay, then I think I'm going to wrap up. Thank you so much, Carla, and thank you so much, Bishan from Learning Curve, and Vicky for helping us organize this fantastic session with Carla. We are super fortunate to have this, and we are right within time. I love us being right within time because I'm sure that everybody is ready to go on long weekend after this. So just a very big thank you from all of us. I would now just like to, as a final comment before we let everybody go, please have a look out for the email from ourselves with a feedback form. The feedback form will give you the opportunity to request for follow-up sessions or anything else that you would like to know, licensing, anything like that. It'll come right after the session. Any other questions, you're welcome to engage with us on email. Most people have me on WhatsApp. That's also a platform, or give us a ring. We're super excited to work on this. I've got a question for Bishan before we let everyone go on long weekend. Bishan, are there any trials or demos, anything available to our audience that they can get a hand on for this fantastic technology?
Thanks for that, Vanessa. From my side, Adobe by default, if you go to the website and try to download a trial, you'll get a 7-day trial. But if you are interested, I can help you out with an extended trial, which can be anything from 30 to 45 days.
Fantastic,
so
fantastic.
If you do want to take up that offer, just drop an email to Vanessa with how many licenses you need for let's call it the 45-day period, and just provide those email addresses, and I'll work with Vanessa to set it up and give you installation and download instructions.
Great stuff. Thank you very much for that, Bishan. Bishan, do you want to say anything before we close?
Thanks to Carla, thanks to the SALT team. You guys are phenomenal. Yeah, and thanks for all the attendees for your patience and taking the time out to join us today. Thanks.
Yes, and if you missed a bit, the recording is on its way to you in your mailbox. But before, don't even worry about that. Let's go have a fantastic long weekend. If you are driving, please be safe, and we'll connect again with everybody next week. Have a blessed and a fantastic Easter weekend. And that's us for the day. Thank you for attending BrainFrame Thursday.
Thank you, everybody, and thanks for joining.
Thank you so much.